Assalamu alaikum, girls. Welcome to week 9 of term 3. This is the week you have all been waiting for, where all the skills you have learned during the past 3 terms you will put it together to build a basic game in Alice. You have learned if else statements, you have learned functions, you've learned methods, how to change properties. All of these skills you have learned vehicles. You will put all these skills together to make the basic game today. So let's get into it. As started for today, let's try to recap. If we are given a scenario to make a animation where there is a native girl and an apple tree, and if the native girl is shorter than the apple tree, she has to jump infinity times. Let's see how we can do this in Alice. So I'm going to open my Alice file. On Alice, I can choose any template I want because this is just a starter for recap. And I'm going to try to add the native girl and the apple tree. So let's find it. When I search for native, the native girl comes, so I'm going to add. And then I will search for apple and try to add apple tree. So I'm getting apple tree, I'm adding that as well. So according to our starter scenario, what we need is that if the native girl is shorter than the apple tree, she has to jump infinity times, which means if she is taller, then she doesn't have to do anything, right? So let's try to make this simple animation. Definitely we need an if else statement because we're trying to make a decision here. Choose true by default, and now we can change this to a function. What is the function we need? Is native girl shorter than apple tree? So click on native girl and choose her functions. There must be an option of a function shorter than. Native girl is shorter than. Drag it here, choose the option apple tree, the entire apple tree. And if she is shorter, what do we have to do? She has to jump infinity times, right? Jumping is a method, and if you have infinity times, that means it's a loop. So let's drag our loop here, and the loop we need infinity times. What does she have to do infinity times? Jump. So go to native girl, get her methods. Jumping is the same as moving up and down the same distance. So do move up for 1 meter, and then again do native girl move down for 1 meter. This is a jumping. So let's see if this code works. As you can see, the native girl continues jumping because she is shorter. Now if we were to make her taller, we will see that she will not jump. Let's just make sure that the code works. Yes, now she is not jumping. Alright, so that was your starter for today. Now let's look at what is the basic game we are making today. First, our objective for today's lesson is to build the basic game as it is demonstrated in my lesson today. And your extension is to implement any extra features that make your game more interesting. So what is the scenario we are trying to build today? This is the storyline we are following. In our game, we have a kangaroo robot and a spider robot. What the kangaroo robot does is it moves around in space, and he's actually trying to look for the spider robot. And when he finds the spider robot will start moving away from the kangaroo robot because it's as if he's running away from him, right? So this is the scenario we are trying to make today. Definitely by reading the storyline you understand that we need to have kangaroo robot as an object, spider robot as an object, and we need some other object so that kangaroo robot can move around as if he's trying to find something. And then what do we have to write in our code? That when he finds the spider robot will move away. So let's break this step by step and try to solve this today in Alice. First, open a blank Alice file. Click on space because this is our storyline today. Come to add objects and add a couple of objects including spider robot and kangaroo robot. You should be able to find them in space. You can add a rover, for example. You can add a satellite if you want. You can also add a satellite dish just to make your world more interesting. I'm adding a lunar lander. And I need to now find my kangaroo robot and spider robot. So let's try to search for that. There is a spider robot here, so I'm going to add that. And then I'm going to search for kangaroo. There is kangaroo robot here, so let me add that as well. So I'm going to try to space out my objects a bit first. This lunar lander is too big for my liking, so let me make it a bit smaller, and I'm going to move it a bit farther away. This satellite dish also seems very big, so I'm going to reduce its size and move it further into a corner. This rover I want to move to another side and make it a bit smaller. And also my satellite has to be up in the air, so I'm going to put it up. Then I have kangaroo robot and spider robot. Since kangaroo robot is the one that searches, I'm going to keep kangaroo robot in the front itself. Let him remain in the front. And since we are searching for spider robot, let's make our spider robot in another position. Alright. So now what I want to do is I need to set the correct vehicles for each object. So when you are playing the game, you want the camera to move along with where the kangaroo robot is moving. So what we are going to do is we are going to create a new event where the arrow keys will move your camera, and then we are going to have the kangaroo robot and set the kangaroo robot's vehicle as camera. So once we are done with this, what will happen is wherever kangaroo robot is moving, the camera will move. So if we want, we can turn our kangaroo robot a little bit so that it looks as if he's finding somebody else. So let me try to turn him. So now it looks as if he's finding the others. Yeah. Alright. Now let's see what is the next thing we need to do. We have already added our objects and set the correct vehicles, and we've added the event, which is let the arrow keys move camera. The final thing we need to do is write our correct code. So we can start off the game with an introduction where the kangaroo robot is speaking and he says, I'm looking for the spider robot, can you help me? And then he goes to find them. So let's write this code here. Kangaroo robot, choose the methods of kangaroo robot. Kangaroo robot says other, hello, I am trying to find spider robot, can you help me? Alright, and we can also have our kangaroo robot start facing us first, then he speaks, and then he moves and turns himself to face the others. So we can have kangaroo robot turn to the right half a revolution. So now once he's done turning, what is the next thing we have to do? According to our scenario, he has to go around and find the spider robot. When he finds it, the spider robot will start moving away. What does this mean? This means that you need to have a continuous loop here so that continuously you can go on finding the spider robot. So I'm going to put a loop and for infinity times, and what it needs to do is a finding. Finding means you need to have an if else where different decision will be taken based on whether you find or not. So finding is the same as being close to somebody, correct? So spider kangaroo robot finding spider robot is the same as kangaroo robot being within 1 meter of spider robot. So let's go to kangaroo robot, choose his functions, and take the first function that says is within some distance. So paste that over here, and within how much? Maybe 1 meter is good. 1 meter of who? Spider robot, because that is the same as finding the spider robot. And if the kangaroo robot finds the spider robot, what do we have to do? According to our question, the spider robot has to move away. That means you have to choose spider robot, go to his methods, select move, and he can move backward 2 meters this time, for example. But if you do like this, the spider robot will keep continuously moving backward. So what is a better method to use? Use the method that says move away from. Spider robot move away from. Away from by 2 meters of kangaroo robot. So now let's see what happens if we try to play this game. First, the kangaroo robot is speaking that I'm trying to find the spider robot, and then he turns around. And using our arrow keys, we can control the camera and go around trying to find the spider robot. And when we do find him, what do we do? If we do go close to him within 1 meter, then he moves away from us. See, he moves away from us. So this is your completed game. One extension you can do is when the spider robot moves away, the spider robot can make some sound as well. So you can go to the methods of spider robot plays sound, and you can choose one of the sounds here. So this is as if he is running away from the kangaroo robot. This is your basic game for today that you are expected to make in Alice and submit. You can add extensions to make your game more interesting, and you will see that while making this game we have used all the concepts we have learned this term. Once you submit your basic game on Edmodo, also make sure you complete the plenary quiz as usual. There will be 4 questions for 4 minutes and 4 marks, and this will be your second task for today. So remember, you have to make the basic game in Alice and submit it, as well as you have to complete the plenary quiz and submit it. That's all for this week, girls. Hope you have a good Ramadan ahead of you and stay healthy. Assalamu alaikum.